هم این به واسه نشونه دادم خیلی بلنده ولی برای کجا خوب آدم میگه کنار دریای نه میدونم ولی اینا فکرم که کجا آدم باید لباس پاک مثلا لباس اسلامی شونه ولی همین گروه شده که برای این چیزا بکشم رو مایو به مایو
برای همه این چه بطوره بکنم برم باید یکم توش بره بچینی It's nice, it's comfortable.
آره شاید بدم شده
نه بده میگم بطوره
چی
کم میرم
بدی؟
آره بده
قشنگ
قشنگ
الپایینش کنم
رنگش هم قشنگ
Good morning. Good morning. Testing. 1, 2, 3. It's UK time, 11:50 a.m. Okay. So, what's going on, huh? What's happening? Well, I thought there was going to be a relief rally, and we had a really nice bullish candle here. And what you're seeing now is a failed auction, actually. It's crazier, but you know, crypto is crazy. Crypto is not what you think it is. It's mental. The monthly candle, extremely bearish. We saw a relief rally, but then it turned out to be extremely bullish. So I think if we wanted to see a bearish reaction, we wouldn't have seen such a strong close. So looking at the BTC weekly candle, that's an extremely strong BTC. I think when you look at the BTC, hindsight is amazing. Looking at the index, it changes things a little bit. It changes things a little bit, and I'll explain. When you're looking at the index, the last time we had such a bullish weekly candle, the last time we had a really bullish weekly candle here. Here. Similar to this, we had none here. We had one here. We had one here. That's different because that's a doji. So we haven't had many of these weekly candles which are really bullish. Now this is a really bullish one because it closes above the previous week low. Same thing here, closes above the previous week low. This one closes above the previous week low too. But this is the context is obviously different. But what's interesting about this weekly candle is that it closed back in the range. Very different to certain other kind of situations. This is very similar, huh? This one closed back in the range too. Closed back in the range, and then we had a really strong move the week after. So we have a really strong weekly candle here, extremely strong, high volume, as you can see. And it doesn't really do justice to the monthly candle, to be honest with you, because that being said, that was a really bearish monthly candle. And then we had a green and then green. This is a really bearish monthly candle. There's no way to ignore it because it's a bearish engulfing. Could it be a bear trap? Could be. I think the only way we'll know if it's a bear trap if we end up with a bullish engulfing this month. If really that's what's needed. If we end up with a bullish engulfing this month, then that would definitely be a bear trap. Now, when it comes to Elliott waves, this is quite interesting. I initially said that the 5 waves was over. And now, is this 4 still in play? It still could be, huh? It still could be. We don't know. These 5 waves could be over. It is possible. Something else is possible. So I just want to kind of contemplate that in the context of what we're experiencing now. It is possible that we have a final 5 wave here. So I did contemplate that in the past. And the idea is that none of this will, this last bit wasn't a wave. And so you have your kind of wave 1 here. You have your wave 3 here, and this wasn't a wave. This actually wasn't a wave here. So all of this is corrective. And we are actually in a final 5 here to complete this. So it changes things a little bit. I'm going to explain. The other question is, was this backtest enough? Because I said that we needed kind of a nice clean backtest of, we needed some kind of backtest here. We didn't want to go on to 64 for a weekly close, 68 for a weekly close. This is where we're at the moment now. So possibly what we've experienced is 1, 2, 3. That was your 3. This whole thing is a corrective. And we've had our first impulse, which is the wave 1. We haven't finished the wave 1 actually. So we still have another wave on the wave 1. And then we're looking for kind of 3 more waves to take us to somewhere like that. For a final 5 there, which would complete that 3. Then we're looking for a corrective, which could also take us all the way back down to here for a final mega rally. Like that. And 230. So kind of, you have to update the charts as they go along, because new information changes things. So on the premise of that, of what we're seeing now, I'm going to kind of try and have a look at this and just kind of imagine where we could be at. Two. Okay. You'd have to count 5 waves, and you have 2 kind of significant targets. Probably 114 is the real target, but an extended target could be up to 143 based on this trend-based fib. We'd have to have a really crazy short squeeze to push through to go to higher prices. But just based on this width on these waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's how it's going to play out on this last kind of final wave. How does that fit in to this? Let's have a look. We'll start from the bottom here. Bit too high. Not 100% sure of that lower one. Let's try this one. That's that one. Could it be that one? Excuse me. I like the confluence here on that pivot. Okay, maybe something like that. One, 4, 5, huh? Which would bring us back to the golden pocket here for a back test of the all-time high, the previous all-time high from the previous bull market. Yeah, that makes sense. This kind of, for me, that makes a lot more sense than anything that I've done so far. So you have to kind of update your Elliott waves as you get more information to see how this plays out. So maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe we've only had 1, 2, 3, and this is the 5 to complete this last wave to take us to 145. At the moment, that's kind of my target. With a 618 here, at 114, just based on this trend-based fib. And this pivot low from that one. Mm. Two to the 3 to the 4 gives us a nice 1-to-1 ratio, which kind of lines up with that one. $114, $145 to finish this. $145. Let's just have a look at time. See how time is playing out here. Go to the weekly time frame. Go to a slightly lower time frame. Mm. 19th of April. Right. 145, 19th, 16th, something of April, kind of mid-April. Mm. 100%, 100%. It's just kind of, it would make sense to go up to 145 because from this pivot low to there, sorry, not from that one, from this one here, from the 4 to the 5 there, then the golden pocket brings us back in to the previous all-time high here. So you're kind of going up there. Excuse me. Type thing. a proper back test of this area. It's food for thought. I'm never 100%, but I see something happened yesterday which was very important, and that is that this wasn't a relief rally, this was a bullish reaction. So that's key. It's key to kind of determine the difference. Yeah, this was a bullish reaction, this wasn't a relief rally. I don't think it'd be so bullish if it was a relief rally. And the other thing to bear in mind is that you're back in the range. Yeah, it came back into this outer range, it came into the range low. That was really important. So we're back in the range. That's a deviation from the range now. This is because this whole thing's become a deviation. Okay, so we're still in the range. No one can know that. I thought maybe we'd go lower, but you know, I did think we are going to have a relief rally. I did think we were going to kind of squeeze the shorts of the weekend. I was in some longs, so I said that on my stream on Friday and Saturday, and then it happened. But then the problem is, you can be bearish, but actually this is bullish. You know? So even though we're kind of putting in lower highs here, which might make people feel a little bit bearish still, you know, that could happen. It always, you know, shit happens, you know? Things like that happen. But I don't think so at the moment, John. Because of the way we're back in the range. It's not bearish. This isn't bearish. It's not bearish to lose the range low and to get a bullish reaction to come back into the range. Yeah, if it was bearish, there were so many places that the price could have rejected. 92, 90, 92 area would have been my area of choice to just fail to get back in. But the reaction was so strong, it's a strong bullish reaction, that now we're clearly back in the range. It's just, I don't think so. I think that's a sign of strength. Getting back into the range after a failed auction is a sign of strength. It can feel bearish now for a few days. It can. So people are still thinking, oh, this is going down, this is starting to look droopy again. But it always feels bearish before it becomes mega bullish, always. And when I kind of look at the volume of this range, we're teetering at the value area, the range value area low now, but you see we're back into the value area. Okay, you can see that now. We haven't had a daily close in the value area apart from yesterday, so another daily close, and we're basically back in the range. This is the range low. I think as long as we don't meaningfully lose here and flip it back into resistance, then as long as that doesn't happen, then the probability now is continuation. It could take a few days for that to happen. Have to see what happens in New York, because New York could sell off, you know. New York could sell off and change things. New York might want to get a good entry. I don't know. Who knows about New York? But at the moment, we're in the range. We're back into the value area at the moment. Now, sometimes when the price comes back into the range value area, doesn't mean it holds. We can lose it, get people bearish, but then we can just, you know, we can come back in and go up. What's really important is that we've come back above this key pivot here. I think it's a really important pivot, range low. So that's about 89k. That's bullish. It can't be bearish when you see that. It's just impossible. Can't be bearish. Now, we haven't actually taken the liquidity from the point of control yet, so there's a little front run going on there. Basically, people were taking profit quicker than they weren't waiting. They were just taking profit. Point of control is a massive take profit in any case for a lot of people. So now we're back into this range type thing. you know, what the hell, this could be, you know, we could be there for a few days. Doesn't mean it's not going to go up in a straight line like it has here, because here we came down so quickly. Naturally coming up is quick too. Now we're coming back into volume, so this is going to be a little bit, maybe more, a little bit more painful, because people are going to be feeling bearish, bullish, bearish, bullish, not sure. But this is clearly this is a sign of strength, you know, like this is kind of what you want to see. Has market structure changed yet? On some time frames it has, and some time frames it has not. Let's just have a look at market structure here. Well, arguably it has on the 4-hour time frame. And that's the most important one, I think, in this, the medium time frame. And apart from the daily, this is the most important one. Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. That's your higher high. So we're in higher high territory now. This is your higher low. That's your invalidation. As long as you don't take out that low, then anything here is a higher low. Take out that high, you've changed market structure to bullish, and then the structure is now bullish. So we put in a higher high. You can't, you know, you can't, and it's a convincing take. We've taken out this previous high convincingly, you know, this one here. So I mean, it is possible that we come all the way down here for a back test of that previous high, put in a higher low. Everyone will get mega bearish again, just to kind of get back into the range low, and then another move. That's possible too. When I was streaming on the first, on Saturday, I think it was, I was trying to map out this this Elliott wave, because I saw that there was an Elliott wave here. Let's have a look at this. Did I delete it? I hope I didn't delete it. No, there it is. So initially I was thinking, because I mapped out this first 5 waves here, and I was expecting another wave. Now, initially I had it going much lower. I was thinking, why, you know, you don't think, I was thinking maybe come back down to the golden pocket. No way, no chance. And it just put in some nice ABCs, ABC, 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 bam, explosion. So it was just putting in a WXY here, WXY. So that's all that happened. Flat correction, kind of extended flat. So now that's your impulsive move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're up to the top. That's your wave 3 of this move. You can see it, can't you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's your wave 3. Column did I do? Wave 1, wave 3. Invalidation here would be to lose this high at about 86. That's your invalidation. So if the price now suddenly comes underneath here, then this is no longer a 5-wave move. This is a 3-wave impulsive corrective move. So that would be an ABC, not a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The only condition for that is to kind of lose the top of the one there. That's the condition. But what we're looking at now is a corrective, another corrective, aren't we? Another corrective getting ready for the last wave 5. Now, no one can predict how aggressively violent that wave 5 is going to be, but that's what the price action is telling us right now. And all the way down to there. See, it went up to basically the 1-to-1. 1-to-1. Kind of zoom out a little bit. Let me do this properly. Couldn't close above the 1-to-1 there. So that's holding the price. So we did a 1-to-1 here. That's a nice, potentially that's a good ABC as well, you know, but the caveat here for bullishness is to just, you can't, the price can't come underneath here really. Can't close, can't get any meaningful close underneath 86. It would look really, really, really godforsaken bearish if we come all the way down there. But then you can have a wave 5, probably back up to the point of control. Then you have your first 5 waves completed. It'll be more bullish to just hold here for an ABC type corrective. And the good thing about these corrective moves is you can kind of plot them out. ABC, ABC. So I'm just kind of throwing these in now. So arguably that was impulsive too. So it's tricky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that impulsive? Not really. I don't know. It's quite impulsive there. No. You've got 5 clean waves there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It lines up perfectly with that previous, that 1 to 2 there, so yeah, that's fine. I think this is corrective. Let me try and, I'll try again, it's not easier. A, B, C. A, B, C. A, B, C. A, B, C. I don't know. Maybe something like that. Maybe being the operative word, who knows? A, B. This one's a really kind of prolonged ABC here. If you look at that, see, it's kind of like, there is a kind of, look. So. Kind of does come to the 1-to-1 almost. Gets a little bit front run here. This one's a bit tricky because it looks really off. Maybe it was that. Maybe it was A, flat B, and C down to there. So more like here, here, here to the 1-to-1, where you begin your A, B, and you're in a kind of a C, kind of a prolonged C, like the 1 to 2 there. Putting a little bit of volume up here, potentially. for another kind of excuse me, another like a ABC type move. And take the lows. Something like that. That would be a corrective 4 type thing. If it plays out like that, it could play out anyway. You know, like the thing about these kind of midpoint bullish corrective is kind of, you know, you could go up higher, and then you've got more of a flat correction or an extended flat, or you're just looking at a little bit of a kind of a bull flag type scenario here with a bull flag, which is still an ABC correction, but makes more sense, doesn't it, in this context, putting some lower highs, lower lows, just kind of for a kind of launch off here. This makes more sense. Lose the value area. Look, this range value area, we're kind of washing it, so it's not actually offering support resistance, to be honest with you. Could it come, this 236 is a higher time frame 236. It's at the right level, to be honest with you, at about 91. So I think if it holds, it'll be really bullish. Also, it's the 618 of this first move, this 0 to 1 to 2. So we haven't actually come back for a nice clean back test. So you'd expect that 618 to hold in the same way this 1 to 1 has kind of resisted the price. You'd expect the 618 to hold the price for this to be some kind of correction. That's what you expect. Obviously anything can happen. So probably kind of around 90 and a half, 91, 90 and a half is, if you see this play out, another kind of ABC type thing, that's really a good place to long. And now this next move, this is the challenger. The challenge is we haven't hit the point of control, so that is going to resist the price. Whatever happens, there's going to be a reaction there probably. Now the question is, what kind of reaction? Is it going to be a bullish wash? Is it going to be like bam, bam, you know, like a crazy smash through and then whatever? Or we're just going to go up there and reject again? And if that happens, that's your 5th wave complete. And then you're looking for more volume to put here, correction here. If that's flat, it would be like that. It could be anything really. You could go up there, and then you could zigzag all the way down to here. For the next wave, huh? For the next wave, because that would be a wave 1. You're looking for a wave 3 then, the next wave. It'll get really bearish again, like I said. It always feels bearish when you're correcting until it smashes through, but we are in it kind of like, this impulsive move is quite interesting. So it makes life a little bit easier because you can map it when you start seeing impulsive moves because of the Elliott wave theory. So this is kind of an idea of what I've got going at the moment. Last wave. Let's put it last wave. Put the ABC corrector. Put it all together. And then the other thing that I was talking about was this outer trend line, which has been front run. So that's how we're going to know. That's how we're going to know. So when I kind of bring this trend line with this last wave idea, let's bring it into context. We haven't actually meaningfully hit that yet. That would be a good place for people to short. So if we were to go up to 96k yesterday, that would be a really good place for people to short, because we'd hit some major confluence, point of control, this trend line, etc. We had a little bit of a preemptive take profit, not enough movement to take us higher. I think sometimes that can be a good thing, because the next time we go up, we could squeeze through it for a break. And so that's kind of, and actually you don't really want to hit that where there's massive confluence, point of control and trend line. That would have been terrible. That would have been a really clean rejection, and that would have been horrible, more horrible than this, because we haven't actually hit the point of control, so people haven't necessarily taken their profit yet, but there is this trend line. So it is possible here that we do, depending on how we correct, because this correction could go on for a long while. This could be the first ABC, then you can get another ABC, you could get another ABCs. This could be a much more prolonged correction. This is just the first part potentially, but let's just say hypothetically we get an impulse of move here, 2, 3. You see you've already broken the trend line before you've hit the point of control. Point of control is a big take profit, but you could, you could actually, it becomes a lot easier to take out the point of control if the impulsive waves continue, if we can create that kind of price action where we don't finish the move before we hit the point of control. Obviously, if you have 5 waves and you're coming to end at the point of control like that, that becomes a little bit more problematic, because you'll get a big take profit there, then you've lost this trend line. That becomes really bearish. Then you're looking at a much more deeper zigzag type situation, becomes really bearish again. But actually then, if you begin in a new wave, you can break this trend line properly, cleanly, and so we're on the other side of the trend line, and then that trend line is no longer a problem. And actually we've already taken the liquidity from the point of control, so the second time it becomes less of a problem, and they're kind of spaced apart. So we have another wave potentially here for a kind of a much deeper correction. For breaking this trend line correctly and then hitting the point of control again. So there's a few things on my mind as to how this can play out. It's just speculative really at the moment, but I think we do have one more wave in our closet in our cupboard. One more final wave to take us to the point of control, maybe for a rejection, lose that trend line, it gets really bearish, short center, short, like really crazy shorting. People get really bearish again. People feel like this is going to zero. Maybe just to kind of come back to the kind of this range low for a nice clean test for your next kind of big impulsive move. Break. Just go up to the type thing. Go up to the highest then. Something like that. There's some ideas of how it could play out if it's bullish. If it's not bullish, then that point of control rejection will be your final rejection. It'll be your last chance to get out, because you finished this 5-wave move. 5-wave move doesn't have to be, I mean, there's a clean invalidation here. You could easily just drop and drop and drop and drop. That could totally happen. So you have complacency before some kind of mega bear market, but I'm not thinking that at the moment, just simply because of how we've come back into the range. So as long as we're back, I think this is a deviation from the lows, from the range at the lows. We're back in the range. The range is actually, there's two levels of interest, the outer range low and the range low. I think in this context, for it to remain bullish, you kind of want to hold the range low now, which is here at about 89k. You don't really want to go down all the way down lower, because that will feel like however we go up, I don't think we want to. I don't think we want to go down there, to be honest with you. I don't think so. I think that it would be a good trading opportunity, but it's not going to, in the higher time frame, it's not going to feel like it wants to go up. It was going to feel like it wants to go down still. So right now people are looking at this. I'm looking at the weekly time frame. I'm thinking to myself, it's a really bullish candle, high volume, increasing volume. The price closed above the previous week low. After such a mega bearish week, the price still closed in the range, back above the previous week low. I think that's quite bullish. I think it's really bullish. So this wick is fulfilling, but it's also for buying. This is a buying tail, and it's not a selling tail, it's a buying tail. And the reality is, it doesn't even have to do what I said. It could just go up, and we could just go up. Could totally do that. The point in control could just be smashed through. Shorts can be squeezed, and then you end up with a really bullish week. It's possible, you know. So there's lots of things that could happen. So I'm feeling quite bullish on this at the moment. Until things changes. I don't think this was really, I think initially I was thinking, because on the stream that I was talking about, oops, shit, on my streams, I've been talking about buying, I've been talking about the relief rally. I wasn't thinking lower when I did those streams, I was thinking higher. See that? The Reckoning, Fear 10, it's a buy. SLERF bottoming, the Reckoning, and then relief rally. I was kind of talking about it going up. I wasn't talking about it going down. But now we're not seeing a relief rally as such. I think we're seeing a bullish reaction. I think this is a bullish reaction. It's slightly different to a relief rally. Usually relief rallies, you don't get such a bullish reaction to the price from the lows. It's not so bullish. So the sentiment is clearly still buy. Yeah, that's a major level, huh? The point of control and the golden pocket. It's a major level. So I do expect whenever we hit that to be rejected. So we have to see how that plays out. And then what? Well, arguably, you know, the price could easily put in a lower high here for continuation, but because we're back in the range, the context just changes things a little bit. I think if it was bearish, I don't think we should have smashed through this 382 like that, and but be smashed through the 50 fib like that. I don't think so. I just think that's not bearish. That's just bullish. Yeah. If it was bearish, you would have got the you know, like it would have been much weaker. The price that you could argue it's the weekend, but the volume is high. So I'm not thinking the volume is low. I'm thinking the volume was good. If it was low volume, I'd be thinking something else, but it isn't. It isn't low volume. It's quite strong volume. And back in the range, and in a sense that invalidates Wyckoff distribution, because Wyckoff distribution doesn't look like this, does it? There was a distribution. I thought it was like a double top, actually, more so, because my Wyckoff was invalidated because it didn't do what I wanted it to do. Do I still have it? I must have got rid of it. This isn't Wyckoff. Wyckoff doesn't do this. It doesn't come all the way back into the range. Once you lose the range, Wyckoff, you'll come down here. You'll kind of do that, and then you'll do that type thing. So we haven't done that. You know? We haven't had that experience. We haven't had a kind of what was needed for a wipe off. Right now, this kind of semi reminds me of this here. After we had a look at this, after we had a failed auction here, it went down to fill the wick a little bit and then it smashed through. Kind of reminds me a little bit of that. Maybe even a little bit of this. Got really bearish and then bearish, you know, like maybe we're going to experience something like this. But there's also every chance that, I don't know, I think we do need to go down to go up, but let's just see. As long as we don't lose the range again, I think the range is important. And I'm kind of looking at medium to higher time frame closes rather than just wicks in and out of ranges, to be honest with you. You've got the value area, and then you've also got, oh yeah, there's the Wyckoff distribution. See, that's what a Wyckoff looks like. It's not really, it's changed though. It's not really looking, potentially that was, this was slightly off. Like that. And then you had your LPSY there, LPSY. You see that? You have your sign of weakness, and then you don't get back in. You don't get back in. You have a zigzag here. I mean, you could argue it could still happen, but we went down quite far and we've come back in. It's, I don't know. To start rejecting from this area rather than getting acceptance. We'd have to start rejecting, you know, like that. You start seeing that, then yeah, maybe. But if I don't, the way it looks like now, it doesn't look like this at the end, the tail end of this. So it feels like a deviation from the lows back in the range, which is bullish. That's kind of where I'm at the moment. And then you just got your kind of range here now, range low. I think range low probably will get tested at around 89 in the future eventually. That would make sense. And then sometimes if you're really bullish, you could just test that wick low, which is doing today. Actually, you can see it. You see that it's kind of testing that range low, isn't it? So that could be enough for continuation. That could be enough, but we don't know. We have to see. I'd like to see this corrective play out. I would actually. I don't think this is impulsive here. You see that? So I still think this is corrective. Going back to my last wave idea, I still think ABC, maybe C, AB, maybe C down to there. Take out the lows here. Maybe then that's a really good. Then maybe then we can have an impulse to the point of control. I don't know when. Maybe tomorrow morning. An Asia session. Who knows? I'd like to see this play out, maybe exactly like this, to be honest with you. If it happened like that, it'd be really good, give you a lot of confidence to buy. And then the other thing is, when you're looking at the weekly time frame, so this is the interesting thing. So you're looking at BTC weekly, which is, for me, it's extreme. This is an extremely bullish candle, extremely bullish. The bears are in control. They couldn't close lower than the previous week low, and you have a giant motherfucking buying candle. really bullish. It's like mega bullish. The candles back in the range. Couldn't even feel the gap. There was a gap there which couldn't even fill it. Got into it but couldn't fill it. But then, you know, we're all interested in a little bit of alt season. What's alt season telling us? Well, unfortunately, ETH BTC had a bearish close. Huh? See that? Had a bearish month, had a bearish week. Doesn't mean that we can't change this, but at the moment we're not seeing the change. Yeah. What's interesting about ETH BTC though is that just before ETH BTC pumped yesterday, ETH BTC came into this golden pocket. That's when the pump happened. Yeah. So there is some kind of confluence between ETH BTC coming into support and ETH pumping. That's for a fact. Yesterday we had the other thing is that yesterday ETH BTC had a bullish, and this is a bullish engulfing candle here with high volume. So it is a bullish candle. We've come all the way down to the bottom of the candle for a test here. See that? For a test. Now, you don't want to see a bearish engulfing today. That would be really bearish. To see a bearish engulfing after a bullish engulfing would be really bearish. So I would like to see that the ETH BTC closes higher than yesterday's low. And I would like to see that the golden pocket is offering support in this context. If it doesn't offer support, you know, then you're going lower here. And just like a lot of other tokens, you could end up, ETH BTC could end up filling the wick for support at the lows there, just like a lot of other capitulation type candles were filled. This is now just coming into the golden pocket, so it's not terrible, is it? It's not terrible. I don't think it's a terrible place for ETH BTC to be at, as long as it finds a little bit of support here. It's found a little bit of support with a bit of reaction, but we need to now. ETH BTC, look, it's the third time now, so it really does need to kind of do that, and then ETH BTC will be pumping. But we have to see, because generally speaking, on the weekly time frame, ETH BTC closed lower, bearish engulfing week, closed lower than these previous week lows, pretty bearish ETH BTC week, immediate sell-off. The monthly is bearish, isn't it? Bearish month, the body is really long, the buying tail is really short. So when people are talking about alt season, I'm not 100% yet. I'm not 100% about whether we're going to have a mega alt season, even though Trump, Trump is pumping, trying to pump crypto. It was interesting actually, because I saw on X that gold guy, what's his name again? Peter something. Is it Peter? Is it this guy? No. Who's the gold guy? The one who rips into gold. I should have saved it because I was can't find it. Basically, he was saying that there's no more bullish news. How much more can they pump crypto? I can't easily find it. I'm just scrolling through. Sometimes it pops up. Everything I'm seeing now is Ukraine. How much more bullish news is there? You know, because obviously yesterday's pump was basically the Trump family pumping crypto, weren't they? Here, look, Eric Trump, Donald Trump on Truth Social. Just pumping crypto. They talked about Solana here. XRP, Solana, ADA, ETH, and Bitcoin in a reserve. How much more bullish pumping news is there? Well, I think there's one more actually. I'm just thinking about it. They've been talking about Fort Knox, going to see Fort Knox, checking out the gold. I think they might end up selling gold and buying crypto, to be honest with you. And that's it's just my gut feeling, because they've been talking about it. Here, look, Elon Musk looking for the gold at Fort Knox, and it's gone. I don't think it's gone. Here, look, the US government claims it has almost 5,000 tons of gold, but Fort Knox US gold reserve has not been audited since 1974, almost 50 years ago. No one has seen any of it. It's time for Elon and Doge to conduct a full audit of every single ounce of gold. It's how many? 5,000 tons of gold. How much is that? Actually, it's quite interesting. How much is 5,000 tons of gold? $400 billion? $400 billion? $101 billion. So gold is at all-time highs, huh? Isn't it? Let's have a look at gold. Not a bad place to sell a bit of gold, huh? Could sell some gold, huh? America sells some gold and starts buying crypto. What happens then? Can you imagine if they decide to sell even a small amount, even like 10% of their gold, just to buy crypto as a reserve, just to kind of redistribute the reserve? That's going to change things. There's going to be a big shift in the way they store value, and I think that's the next bullish news. Actually, I think that's what you're going to hear. USA sells gold, buys crypto. It's going to be really bullish for crypto if that happens, because then you're going to start seeing a lot more selling. So I think like if you're going to sell gold and you're the US government, you sell it at the highs, don't you? Now we're at the highs. So wouldn't you sell it at the highs if you wanted to sell gold? You wouldn't sell it at the lows, you'd sell it at the highs. And so right now you see gold has been pumping. It's just my kind of gut feeling. That's probably what's on the cards, on the table. But I mean, who knows? You never know. If it happened, it'd be crazy. So there is potentially more bullish news to come, which is going to pump crypto more. So let's kind of have a look at ETH at the moment. So yeah, like I said, ETH BTC didn't have a really bullish week, and ETH didn't have a bullish close, did it? However, there is kind of hope. What's the hope on this weekly ETH candle? Well, you took the lows, had a bullish reaction, and the wick, the buying tail, is bigger than the body. I think that's bullish. It's a bearish candle in the sense that the bears in control. It closed lower than these previous weeks, similar to ETH BTC, but the buying tail is strong. And I don't actually, now that we've cleared the liquidity from the lows here, I don't really expect us to take the lows again. I don't really expect that. Not anytime soon. Okay, it's kind of where I'm at with ETH at the moment. It's a tricky one because obviously we need ETH to pump for all season, and there is a really kind of strong area of support here, the point of control of this range. We are back into this range value area, so that's not considered bullish. We have a kind of this outer trend line is still there. That has to be broken. If we can't break that, then the ETH isn't going to go up. And that's really when we're going to start pumping, when we can break that line, get above these highs, this local range. It's really when ETH is going to start pumping. And yesterday's pump has been sold into quite heavily. You can see that. It's been sold into quite heavily. Quite high volume. So you want to see high volume when the price goes up. But not as bullish as Bitcoin, clearly. And naturally, that's going to have an impact on altcoins because altcoins rely on ETH to be bullish. And so ETH is a little bit more kind of, it's not as a good a situation as Bitcoin, just from what I can see. That being said, the monthly close, we closed terribly, but we did kind of close above this. Maybe we're still range locked here. Maybe this whole thing is maybe we're just still in a big range here, to be honest with you. That's kind of, at the moment, that's where I'm at. We're at the lows of the range. Maybe the next rotation will be to the highs. But if you get that in the next 2 months, then I don't necessarily think we're going to have a breakout here, because we're still in some kind of range here, more so than not. If we get 2 bullish months, then probably we're going to sell off, and maybe we're going to go lower before we can actually go higher, type thing. Yeah, I'm not like looking at this and going, oh my god, this is looking really good. But like I said, last week we did have a really nice buying tail, cleared liquidities from the low, increasing volume. So we're obviously hitting some major support levels. Yeah, we're kind of hitting some big support levels here. The price is being sold and it's not going down, is it? So you're getting a bullish reaction, getting bullish reactions. And yesterday's candle was a bullish engulfing candle, same as ETH BTC, So now we're getting a normal pullback. As long as we don't reverse yesterday's candle, like a close underneath yesterday's low, then I'm thinking to myself, this is probably going to go up. And we are, in the same way that BTC had a impulsive move, ETH is also having an impulsive move, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. ABC, ABC type thing. Pulse. Correction now. Maybe a correction type thing. Just as long as we don't come underneath this high, then we could have another impulsive wave. Again, the problem with ETH is the momentum, and it's the same. This is what I've been talking about when you look at ETH BTC. It's just really hard to turn around higher time frame down momentum, as you can see. That's why like tokens like Solana are doing much better in certain circumstances. Momentum is a bitch, but once you can finally break through these kind of downtrend lines, these downtrend moving averages, then it becomes, then you don't have to worry about the down momentum. So you can see the down momentum is still a problem. Like even in this time frame, 4-hour time frame, look, the momentum, this is ETH BTC, the momentum is the price is struggling to break this momentum, isn't it? And so it's taking time to flatten out the momentum. Like we finally kind of got above the 1-hour moving averages, and then we're just right back underneath it. It's not really what you want to see. What you really want to see is the price to hold. And this is ETH BTC, and you're getting the same kind of, you're getting similar types of situation with ETH. 4-hour time frame, the momentum is down. Now the midpoint, the 20 moving average is coming up. So hopefully we need that to hold. We need the price to kind of just, you know, try and turn these moving averages basically. So we've got kind of quite volatile. We're not out of the woods yet. And then the other thing that I kind of noted was that we broke this, I higher time frame trend line. Kind of have to get back above it, don't we? And again, look at the momentum. So I don't know how easy it is, you know, to do that. So it'd be quite volatile. It'll be a lot easier if Bitcoin is pumping, huh? To get it back above that. And maybe that's what's required. Maybe we just need Bitcoin to pump for the altcoins to follow and do that. And then we can have a mini kind of like a mini alt season. But I don't know how it's going to play out. It's at the moment it's still a tricky one. Huh? It's a tricky one to see when alt season happens. Obviously Solana, we were hitting, I talked about it, we're hitting some higher time frame Bollinger Band. I said like it's a buy really, isn't it? Coming right into the, like the trend is up and you're coming to the lows of this weekly Bollinger Band. It's not really gonna, you don't really just go down like that. It doesn't work like that. You need on a higher time frame, if you want to go down from the top, from a top Bollinger Band like that, you want to go down to the bottom, that's a buy. Here's the buy. Because if you want to continue going down, you need a midpoint test. That's what you need. You need a test before you can go. If you go from top to bottom of the Bollinger Band, then you need a back test of the midpoint for continuation. You can't just go down. If you ever have a look at the Bollinger Band, you'll see that on every fractal. Every fractal, when you go from top to bottom, there's always a back test of the midpoint before you get some kind of continuation. So generally speaking, when the momentum is to the upside, the lower part of the Bollinger Band is a buy, and the momentum when you've got this moving average midpoint trending up, the bottom of the Bollinger Band is a buy. It's not a sell. It's not always the case, you know. Like look, this is a 4-hour time frame. Look, it went from the top, it went down here, and just smashed through all the way down. Didn't get that midpoint back test. So it's not 100. Nothing in crypto is 100%. It's just probabilities. But anyway, I mean, Solana had a bullish reaction. Let's have a look at the weekly time frame candle. Now it looks better, huh? Looks better than it was looking when we were looking at it last time. Hindsight is so nice, huh? Like in hindsight, you go, "Oh man, I knew it was going to go up." We're in this higher range. You can see that we went to the low of the range, came back above the point of control. It's still range bound, huh? This whole thing's a range, so let's not get ahead of ourselves and think that this is going to somehow from here go to the moon. It's more likely than not we just go up to the top of the range and come back down again. At the moment, the golden pocket and the value area high are roughly in the same area. So, you know, that's kind of a sell, really. It's not a buy. But we're kind of range bound. I think probably or possibly Solana may, on a higher time frame now, we may be range bound here for a while more. And actually I think that's quite bullish, because consolidation underneath an all-time high is bullish consolidation. So what you kind of want to see in Solana now is higher time frame consolidation, yeah, as long as possible. So this is the weekly time frame, so probably too long. It's kind of what you want to see. I think it'd be nice to just see Solana just consolidate. and then we can have a breakout type thing. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna. I mean, Eric is talking about an alt season. I mean, that can always happen. You could always get another break. I think the problem with just going up now, it'd be nice, but you're going to get this type of up and then down, and then, you know, like, it'd be nice if Solana can just put some kind of volume here and just hold this range for an extended period of time here. And then in the future, when you do get a breakout, then it's going to be a genuine, legitimate breakout, and then you've established your range, and then you're probably not coming back down underneath those prices again, probably not. So that's kind of what I want to see more than just going up. I know people want it to just go up and up and up and up and up, but then it has to come down and down and down and then down and down. When you get these prolonged periods of consolidation like this, it's actually really bullish, because eventually when you do break up to the upside, then the chances of it coming back down are lower. And then I was talking about SLERF bottoming out, didn't I? I've been talking about that on my videos. I don't know if people pay attention, but here, look, SLERF bottoming, SLERF pump, you know, like SLERF update. I mean, kind of, there's a reason why I'm kind of focused on these tokens, because I'm feeling bullish and I feel like there's something is about to happen. And interestingly enough, with SLERF, I've been mapping it out. I've been mapping out this idea of these trend lines, and came down to the bottom of this trend line. Interestingly enough, we're trying to get back into the top part of the trend. We broke above, we're back underneath it. Again, the problem with SLERF is that it's not a problem, but it's quite strongly tied to Solana. But you've also got this unbelievably bearish downtrend. So that has to be turned, which is why I think it'll be nice if Solana can kind of higher time frame consolidate. With SLERF, what we just need with SLERF is we need to just break this outer trend line somehow. Once you break the outer trend line, then you're above it. No longer, I think the down pressure is off. And then I think this whole thing can turn to start looking, you know, start becoming bullish. You've got multiple downtrends. You've got this outer one, which is a downtrend, and you've got this kind of more steep downtrend. So SLERF is not one that's out of the woods until it can, you know, it can break these outer trend lines, you know. So we could be in quite a period of volatility for the next few months on SLERF. But ideally, you just want to see SLERF bottom here. That could coincide with Solana going sideways. And the good thing about SLERF is that when it pumps, it does pump. Yeah, I think it pumps. For some reason, I think it pumps more than a lot of meme coins, when it's kind of linked to Solana in that sense. There's really good prices on SLERF, huh? Really good prices, 6 cents, 7 cents, 8 cents, really good prices for a long hold. If you're bullish on Solana, then I think SLERF is an easy buy. Very easy buy. Accumulate SLERF. I don't think it's a hard to buy SLERF if you're bullish on Solana, to be honest with you. Eventually this will bottom, and eventually you're going to end up with a mega breakout. What you want to see now on this higher time frame are kind of higher lows, and then some pumpy price actions so that we can reverse the momentum, and then maybe we have a chance to break out. You break out of this outer trend line like that, a token like this, you'll probably rally all the way to the highs there, the all-time high, probably. It's kind of what I'm imagining with SLERF. A mega rally to all-time highs in the future. But I do think we need to put some kind of more volume in these lows, and put some more structure here, and that's going to tie into Solana. That news about the Trumps being interested in Solana as a reserve is bullish for SLERF, is really bullish for SLERF. It's the same, and when you see the move yesterday, they kind of followed each other. They went side by side. So I'm just looking at this value area. See, there's a bit of volume coming in here. Look at that volume, which is good to see. So you see there's interest down here at the lows. Ideally, what you want to see is you want to see enough volume at these lows now to shift the value area lower. That's going to take a little bit of time. So I am kind of thinking to myself, something like this. We had that before when the price kind of came down into the lows here. You see you had this kind of structure before, you had the kind of pump like that. Then you had the pullback. But this time when you have the pullback, you just want to put in a higher low. So the difference between the situation here and the situation maybe here, I think I'm looking for something similar, but I am actually looking for the last, when you come back for this corrective move, that you don't take the low, you break out rather than drop type thing. So I'm looking for the same thing to happen as this, but I'm looking for a higher low rather than kind of putting in a lower low and then taking out the low. And then also I'd like to see that outer trend line tested and a few times. We haven't tested it for the third time, so the third time will probably be a sell, and fourth time maybe, and then maybe we can break out and then we can push through. So that, to put in volume like this here, would require the point of control to drop and require the range to change. So I am thinking of something like that for SLERF potentially. Let's see. I think potentially we've put in a low here, and if we haven't, then it'll be another good opportunity to buy. The structure on the daily time frame is still bearish, obviously, because we haven't taken out the higher day. Let me just rename that to idea. You never know, sometimes these ideas play out and it's good to keep them. I've got two ideas here, so I'll just keep them together. We haven't taken out oh wait, hold on, no, my mistake. I think the daily structure is actually bullish, and I'll explain why. Lower high, lower low. This green candle here is a lower high. That's a lower low, and then you put in a higher high there, you put in a higher low there, and just put in a higher high. So you see, it's a nuance, but we've just changed market structure on the daily time frame in this structure here. That structure has actually changed the market structure to bullish on the daily time frame. It's interesting, but it has, just because of the way the candles have formed. So we're in daily market structure, bullish market structure now, and as long as the market structure is bullish, you see on the 4-hour time frame, same thing. Lower high, lower low, higher high, higher low. This is your higher high. So we're in bullish market structure now. As long as you don't invalidate the structure by taking out this low, then I'm expecting structure, bullish market structure, to continue until it changes. And so it's good to see that SLERF is now bullish, and I'd like to see that continue. And I think that kind of coincides with Solana as well. So there's a lot of good things happening with SLERF. SLERF's weekly time frame candle was really bullish. Again, it looks bearish, but it's bullish. It's bullish because you have increasing volume into the lows, and the price closes above the previous week low. So it's bullish, and that corresponds with the previous week, which closed above. So we're getting two weekly swing failures here. I think SLERF is, honestly, I think SLERF is a buy. Like, for me, SLERF is a buy. I'm buying SLERF. I'm very bullish on SLERF. Not bearish at all. I think I like what I'm seeing with these weekly swing failures, to be honest with you. And so it's still red. So you don't catch the lows, but you do end up you do end up buying the higher time frame lows, you know. So that's all that really matters, the higher time frame. And so when you start seeing bullish reversal signs, weekly swing failure, increasing volume, bullish market structure changes, what else do you want to see for buying? You know, this is kind of what you want to see. So for me, I'm really like, I'm looking at SLERF and I'm going, actually, this is, for me, this is really nice. It also had a impulsive move, 1, 2, 3. So as long as you don't take out that high, then you are potentially looking for another impulsive move, and then also you could take out the highs. You know, this whole thing is starting to change into bullishness. So I'm quite bullish on SLERF, and that kind of corresponds with Solana. I'm not bearish on Solana. I don't necessarily, this, for me, this is corrective. It's not impulsive, so I still see this as being corrective just because we've had our impulsive move, but I am looking for another impulsive move, and so therefore I am buying, you know. So that's kind of what's on my mind. Let's have a look at QANX. So QANX has been quite stable, up and down. It's kind of like a stable coin, isn't it? Stable coin. We should change it to Quan stable. I don't think people should be frustrated. If people are frustrated, they shouldn't be, because they're expecting this to pump. Why would it pump? The mainnet hasn't been launched. Looking at last week's weekly candle, I think it's a really nice weekly candle for different reasons. Let me just hide all of this stuff, which I was talking about quantime before. Because you've got selling. You normally get selling after you get green candles, you get selling, yeah, because it's like a take profit week. Last week was like a take profit week. You got a bearish candle, so the bears were in control type thing, but you've got a nice buying tail. You've got a bullish reaction. Here you've got like a higher low forming here on the weekly time frame, and when you're looking at previous week levels, yeah, so you can kind of look at the structure of the candles and this is a correction, isn't it? It's like, this is like a higher time frame accumulation. When you're looking at previous weeks, you see that actually, look, we closed above that level there. The price has reacted off. You can draw it. See that kind of, it's almost like we've kind of back tested this area like that. It's kind of what it looks like to me. There's like some kind of thing, something going on here. It feels quite bullish just because, let me draw that line. So you've got this kind of weekly level in the past that was holding as resistance, wasn't it? See that? And that was resistance. We went above it before. We could have came back underneath it. It was resistance, resistance, resistance. Here we kind of, as we were pumping, we kind of found support, tried to find support, couldn't find support, became resistance again, and we've almost, it's almost like we've flipped it, haven't we? We've kind of flipped it again back into support. That's what it looks like to me at the moment on the weekly time frame. So there's this kind of key level, there's this key weekly time frame, and also when you're looking at the previous, the initial kind of sell-off after the launch, you can clearly see that there was a wick there. It kind of corresponds, doesn't it? So we're in a kind of an unusual higher time frame SR flip on the weekly time frame. Weekly time frames. The reason why I'm looking at weekly is because obviously the liquidity. So I'd like to kind of see higher time frames, so it doesn't really, it gives you a better picture of what's actually happening rather than kind of looking at the daily or whatever. I could look at the daily, but it's hard to see what's actually happening because it's quite illiquid at times. Whereas at least the weekly or the monthly, there's a better indication. So last month you got a bullish doji. you've got a bearish month, you've got a bullish doji, and now we're starting to move up. I think that's quite nice to see. Still quite corrective, huh? It's still corrective, but it might be, and I don't know, but it might be that we're just getting more and more accumulation, and accumulation is just pushing the price higher and higher and higher. It's like that's kind of what you want to see, higher lows. Ideally, what we want to see are higher lows until we get a breakout. If we do, and so what was interesting is the last time I looked at QANX, I was feeling bearish on Bitcoin, wasn't I? And so I did this kind of quantime type analysis, saying, oh, we're coming into fib time here. Could this be the sell the news March event? Could we go down? And with these fib times, you could also go up, you know, it's a pivot. That's where your pivot's put in. And then I kind of contemplated maybe by the end of April, there's another pivot. And then also July. There's a big one in July. And I am wondering, because if Bitcoin now starts to pump and we do have an alt season, just like Eric Trump said. So I don't know if you guys are aware of Eric Trump, Trump's son. Yesterday he made a post, a few posts. Now my advice hold. He's giving financial advice. He's really pumping crypto, huh? This guy's really pumping crypto. Just go to his page, you'll see. But anyway, here, look, where is it? They're talking about crypto reserves, etc., etc. Don't buy the dips. They've got something planned, huh? They've got something big planned for crypto. And if we do see, like everyone's like thinking, the reason why I was a bit bearish on Bitcoin, now I'm like a little bit more bullish on Bitcoin, just simply because of the way we close, the way the weekly closed yesterday back into the range. So you have to look at my Bitcoin analysis to see why I've slightly changed my view. If we do see Bitcoin now pump, maybe we do pump, you know, maybe we do break out with the mainnet launch and we have a mega pump. And then if it ends at the end of April and we put in a pivot there, maybe actually then we get a pullback for a bottom in July type thing. So it changes things a little bit. It changes things a little bit because obviously you have to change based on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is really important. You just can't ignore it. So if Bitcoin is now showing signs of strength, showing, you know, really kind of crazy bullish weekly candle, extremely bullish weekly candle with massive buying tail, closed back in the range, closed back above previous weekly low, yeah, that has an impact on all our ideas and all our tokens. And so while QANX is resilient when it comes to the dips, naturally what's happening here is you've got higher time frame consolidation. I've talked about this before, and we're in this kind of triangle type pattern. Let me pull it up again. Trend lines. Where my trend lines gone? I lost my trend lines? No. There's one. Where's the other one? There it is. We hide that. Slightly subjective, but there is a kind of like a triangle, an equal triangle here forming consolidation, accumulation. And if we do see, if Bitcoin starts to pump and we start to see a crazy alt season, and then we have this mainnet launch, mainnet is going to be a big deal because liquidity is going to come into the mainnet, internet. When people start building projects, and they're going to need QANX to power their projects as gas, etc. So there's going to be quite a big event, hopefully in March. And so this is kind of what this is looking like. It's looking like we're gearing up for something. If crypto is bullish and that happens, then I don't know. I think possibly we do break out to the upside. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now, to make a new all-time high. That would be really bullish, to break out to the upside, to make a new all-time high, go into price discovery, and then kind of top out by the end of April type thing. You'd have to have really bullish monthly candles for that to happen. So yeah, we have to see what happens. Like here on the 3 monthly time frame candles, when I'm looking at the candles, I'm seeing consolidation, but I'm seeing bullish consolidation because we seem to be putting in higher lows. Yeah, and naturally what you want is a markup in price, similar to this big markup here. You want another big markup, and so effectively what you're looking at when you're looking at these kind of more higher time frame candles is after the first the bridge hack buyback, which was this, the price has just been consolidating now for a long time, hasn't it? And synonymous to what I always say, back in the range. That's the previous range. The price dropped, got hacked, bridge hack, nothing to do with Quant platform, refunded 1-to-1, bam, and then we're back into the range. So we've got this kind of higher time frame consolidation. I consider these higher time frame consolidations really bullish. Yeah, the longer it goes, the more bullish it is. And when you're looking at the 3 month time frame, these candles, you can see that we're putting in higher lows, and now we're just, the structure is finding support of previous higher time frame structure as well. And so you can see the sentiment is slowly becoming more and more bullish as people start accumulating. It behaves this way because the sentiment is bullish, people are accumulating, and the liquidity at these prices are low. And so naturally you start seeing every kind of dip where the momentum is slowly kind of going to the upside. But really what we will need is an expansive candle. We need to get to higher prices. After a consolidation range like this, I mean, we could go crazy. It could go crazy. It is possible, especially if they have bigger, more partnerships. Like I've heard rumors of Microsoft. I don't know if that's true. I saw that the Qatari whatever investors were also investing in Microsoft. So it's food for thought. I don't know. It'd be amazing if Microsoft starts to buy in, wouldn't it? But let's just have a look at this. Let's just say I'd like to see how the impulsive let me see what I did my fib time before. I think I have it here somewhere. No, that was incorrect. I think I'm going to have to look at this in a bit more depth. There it was. That was the wave one. I was thinking initially that was the beginning of the wave. I'm not like in that page now because I can clearly see that it's not. ABC, ABC, ABC. We have to see where the impulse begins. We're expecting an impulse, potentially. If we don't take out this low, we're expecting an impulse. And then once we work out the impulse, then from this hack low, I do that. That does look quite impulsive, huh? It's just hard to know until it continues. So I don't know. I mean, you could argue that that's a wave 1, and that's another 1. But we have to see continuation with an impulsive move to take us to higher price. Until you see that, it's hard to know if that was the bottom and that was the next wave. Until then, I'm just thinking maybe we're still corrective here. Type thing. But what we are seeing is accumulation, which is keeping the, it's like you don't have to go down. Yeah, if you get people just aggressively accumulate, you could just go flat here before you get your impulse. Yeah, you could even go up, you know, if you that's what running flats are. Running flats are where it's flat but it goes up because people are so bullish and they're expecting another move that they keep on buying, market buying, and they push the flat, they push the correction up instead of down. So I'm not 100%. You think there's more pre-hack chart than this? There might be. I'm just going from the gate chart, which was the launch here. I've had a look at Dex Screener. Usually Dex Screener has the full charts, doesn't it? Okay, if I'm not going to find it, then there's nothing much I can do, is there? This is market cap 67 million. Is that correct? It's not much, is it? I've looked at this before. Yeah, just don't really have much info here, to be honest with you. Yeah, 66. It's not much, is it? It's not much for a layer 1, a quantum resistance layer 1, which has such big partnerships and investments and a lot of potential. It's not that much. I think it's hard to know. I do like this first impulsive wave 1 type thing. I do like that. Okay, I know a lot of people ignored it, but in a sense you can't, because it is part of the charts. Charts don't really lie. And ever since we've been putting higher lows, kind of like consolidating. I'm not sure if that's an impulsive move of a first wave and we're waiting for the next wave. I'm not sure. Or the whole thing is just one big whole correction after you had your first move there type thing. I'm not 100%. Unless we take out that low, I'm just assuming that's your first wave and we're looking for wave 2, 3. This is the 2, 3, 4, 5 to complete the wave 3 type thing. Yeah, I'm just assuming that, but I have no idea. This kind of could have been the next wave, just simply because it put in a higher low here. So that's still on the table. Like, this is the thing, until you invalidate these impulsive waves by taking out the low, which we haven't done, it's still impulsive, and so you can't just ignore it. You just can't, unfortunately. So there's options for what could happen here. If that was your ABC and that was your first wave, it's like the first wave of the next, because it's all in 5 waves and they all like grandfather, father, grandparent, parent, child type thing. So it's on CoinGecko. I'll have a look. So until you invalidate it, you just don't know. That's the thing. That's so you have to kind of do it after you have to analyze after it happens rather than before trying to predict, because it's hard to know exactly. It's a lot easier to see corrections after an impulse because you're looking for ABC corrective moves. And then when you are in an impulsive move, sometimes you can get the wave 2 to 3 after you see the first wave, because then you're expecting another impulsive wave. So sometimes you can predict much more accurately than now here. I don't know if that's just if we're just experiencing an ABC type correction here. This could be like more bullish. Doesn't have to go all the way down to take the lows. But then the other thing it could be is that was your 2, that was your first wave, and this was your next first wave. It's hard to explain, but it is possible. So do it. Let's go to green, I think. Just because I can see 5 waves, that's all. Without invalidating that low, it's hard to know. That's your wave 1. This is your wave 1, 2. It's not a wave 3. It's the wave 1 of the 3 type thing. But the only way we'll know is if we see another wave without invalidating this low. And then here, you've got like 5 waves there. You could have like 3 waves there, 3 waves there, something like that type thing for an impulsive move type situation. And if you get that without invalidating this impulsive wave, and then that would be your wave, we're still in the wave 3. It's just that it feels we're just kind of in this range still. We're just putting in higher lows. So that was your wave 1. So we're in the wave 3, this red wave 3. It's just that it's broken down into lots of mini waves just to complete this higher time frame red wave 2. Now the only exception here is if we actually take the low. If you take the low, it invalidates all of these impulsive moves, and then actually you're looking for this red 2 to be like that. So until that happens, you don't know. Yeah, and so that's why I'm not 100%, and I'm just tracking it considering both scenarios, considering that this whole thing is corrective and we still have a big dip to come to take out all of these lows for a massive mega impulsive wave, which would be bullish, or that we've started off, we've had our wave 1, this blue wave, we've started the wave 3, but we've only put in the 1 of the 3, which is that green. Yeah. And so naturally that we're looking for this to go up for a bigger 3 here, potentially. If this is the 1 of the 3, if this is the corrective, then we're looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once that happens, without taking out this initial wave, which we haven't done here, we haven't taken it out, then that would be the 3 of this green 3, and then we're looking for a 5 correction. We're looking 5, whatever, however high it goes, and then that would complete our blue, not our red. That would complete our blue, because there's still a wave 5 on the red, on the blue as well. That would complete our blue 3. But the red, you see the red 3, you still need 5 waves, 5 complete waves. And so it's the 5 blue. So that's how it works. So you've got kind of, and then this, so they all go in 5 waves, but they all kind of parentage. It's all ancestry. Or you take out the lows, you invalidate these impulsive moves, and you just start over. And so no one really knows how this is going to play out. So it's just kind of food for thought. I'm not 100% about anything, to be honest with you. All I know is that on a higher time frame, and that's why I've got this impulsive target here of 62 cents, just based on this trend-based fib. I'm not 100% sure about that either, to be honest with you. I think it'd be better to just, I think it would be better for me to just do it to the 1, assuming that's the low there. That was the first wave, and we're not going to come and invalidate that. It's a big assumption. So I'm just taking it from the low to the high there as the 1 for an ABC corrective for the beginning of the next wave. So that's the low there. It gives you a target of 27 cents. 1.43. That's a 618, just based on that. But again, it's an assumption, isn't it? The assumption is that's where you impulse, and that's where the pivot is in. If you don't take out that low and we start impulsing, then you have to just assume that that's correct. And then based on this next move, so this is all kind of, you have to look at this in hindsight, retrospectively. One-to-one is up to there. Let's try one more thing. Yeah, there's pretty, honestly, there's really strong confluence at about 26 cents. If we get that high. This region. 25, 26 cents. There's really strong confluence there. And that naturally, what you're looking for are 5 waves after the impulsive move. If you end up with a, let's just say that is wave 1, and we're in some kind of corrective move here, and we have an impulsive move, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the end of your 3. If it comes to the end into your higher time frame fib resistance, that's the end. That's the end of that. And then just based on this, on the Elliott wave rules, then the blue 4 can't come underneath the top of the blue 1, which would be there. So that's the invalidation. You'd be looking for a 5 to come in somewhere there. Now, if it's more bullish than not, then the 5 could. The problem is if you reject off a really key important area like that in a big way, then you're probably looking to just go back up like that, which would then complete your 3 like that. That's kind of how it would work. And then this red 4, the top of the red one is there, and so the invalidation is coming back underneath the top of the red one, and so you have a large range where the price could fall back down. And so that's just it's just the way Elliott waves work. Still for a big fight, a big move in the future, but the thing is, how much would you have moved from the top of the 1 to there? It's like 600%. And people take, what happens is people take profit, then they wait for the corrective move, and then when it comes down to low enough, they buy back in, you know, type thing. And that's how you get higher lows on the higher time frame type thing. So I'm not saying this is going to happen, but at the moment, in the current context, it looks like there's a bit of strong fib extension confluence at about 26 cents. What are we currently at now? Just slither underneath 4 cents. So the problem is people are going to find it difficult to sell. It's like a 5 to 600% increase in value. Imagine a $5. I mean, I can imagine it for sure. In the current context, this is a really healthy target. The only thing that changes my mind, and this is the only thing, is volume. Volume is key. Yeah. If you're not going to see volume as we approach our prices, if we're just going to see relatively average volume, if you see the same volume, then I'm not looking for higher. Yeah. But if you suddenly start seeing crazy volume, increases in volume like there's no tomorrow, then that volume is going to smash through these levels. Yeah. So yeah, volume is really important. And the other thing that I'm interested to see is, like, if you get a massive partnership, let's say you get a partnership with Microsoft or whatever, well, how are they going to buy their token, you know? And then if they do buy off the market, is there going to be enough liquidity from the market to push the price to higher? Because that's really what you need. Is there enough liquidity on Gate to justify higher prices? That's the other thing. Because that's where the liquidity is coming from right now, isn't it? So when you look at the markets, Gate and Pancake Swap and Uniswap, basically, it's like that's where the liquidity is coming from. It's not much, huh? So we need you know, if you want higher prices, you need increasing volume. You need the volume to come from Gate, Pancake Swap, and Uniswap. You're not sure? I had no idea either. I was hoping you'd tell me. Ryan is saying, I'm not sure if the team has tokens for partnerships. You'll have to look at their tokenomics. Someone will tell me. Probably someone's going to comment on this video and tell me. I don't know. Quan platform is a quantum resistant layer 1 hybrid blockchain that will allow developers and enterprises to build quantum resistant smart contracts, dApps, and DeFi solutions, NFT tokens, metaverse on top of the Quan blockchain platform in any programming. I mean, you can't get more bullish than that. It's a big worker. They've done a real big job creating this. So I hope it works. Yeah, I heard that they did the burn as well. So this max supply and total supply. So the circulating supply. Yeah. Can't tell. It's 2.1 billion, the max supply. Yeah. So this is not updated correctly. There's no risks. There are no risk factors. Anyway, I'm just going to keep an eye on this. I think the simplest way to look at this is that we're in a consolidation range. As I've already said, we're in some kind of equal triangle type situation above the point of control. Above the anchored VWAP from the launch. And it's just going sideways, huh? Just going sideways. Excuse me. As you can see in this volume profile, most of the volume is here and also down here. That's probably the refund. Yeah, I think the mainnet's a big deal. It's a big deal, and we just what we really need is, like I've always said, we just need a really clean break with volume, and then we need increasing volume to take us to higher prices. We really need that. If you don't see that, then it's not going to be a bearish rise, a bullish rise. And if it's not going to be a bullish rise, it'll be effectively a sell the news event in that sense. And just based on some simple things I've done now, assuming that we don't invalidate any of these impulsive mid price actions, then kind of I've got a target of around 26 cents, which is yeah, about 26 cents. That's kind of what I'm looking at. So if we do get a breakout, but I'm not seeing like the volume that's going to make me think we're going to the moon, yeah, then, and in the context of a breakout here, where's 26 cents instead? It makes sense, it does make sense for us to kind of hit that area. It could go higher, huh? This is the thing about price discovery. Things can always go higher than you think, yeah, so no one really knows. Let's just kind of imagine the future. How would I do this? No. I do like something about this channel. I do like how these lows kind of line up down here. And there is clearly some kind of rejection there. Type thing. Similar to this. If you do get a breakout from this kind of type trend line, then that's really bullish. Clearly is really bullish. But you could always pump and then come right back down for a test, yeah? Type thing, you know, and that would be not out the realms of impossibility. Yeah, but obviously the other thing is that, let's just say for the sake of argument, you do break out. It's probably more likely than not that we kind of grind up to kind of, rather, I don't really want us to just break out like this. I mean, it could happen, but it has to be with volume. But just to say it happened, back test, volume, increasing volume, smash. Sure, let's go up to the height, to the top of this, potentially to the top of this this kind of upward channel. If that happens, then you're actually, that's your target, just based on these kind of these channel lows. And I did another thing actually before, didn't I? I did this kind of horizontal channels. So let me just kind of pull those. Where are they? That's it. Ah, yeah, you've got pretty strong confluence here. Look, that's about 20 cents. You'd have to have real strong volume to break through that. Yeah, you see, like that's the next level. So we're still underneath this key, this area here. Look, see that? It's at about 4.4 cents. We're still underneath it, and so naturally, in the first instance, we need to get above 4.4 cents and flip that into support. And then the next one is 9.5, and then the next one is 20 cents. So if you do go up to 20 cents by March, you're into some pretty strong resistance. So it's pretty strong resistance here at that timing, in that time frame. But if you can get the volume is key, then you could flip that level. So initially it's like that, then it's like that, and then it's higher prices. And I would never target the top of the channel. I'd be looking for the next horizontal type range, and maybe even the halfway point. So according to this, that's at about 44 cents. So there's a few things that could happen, but right now it looks as though we're just clearing this down as well. How I did this. Yeah, I did it from the lows there. I did it from the pivot low there. That's how I did it. All the way up to there. That's why this level's been resisting, isn't it? Look, see? 4.4. Sorry, yeah, 4.4. See that? I probably did these channels a long time ago, and see it's come up and it's just resisted here. So we're kind of consolidating now underneath resistance. We are putting in higher lows, so that's quite bullish. But we do need to get to the next area. smash up. I mean, if that's how we're going to go up, then so be it. But ideally, we want to see high volume come in. But this is kind of where we're at now. It's a tricky one. I think the reason why we don't pump high, Ryan, you can register for a validator and node provider or updates on the website too. RH, welcome. I'm not going to stay for longer because I have to go to the airport to pick up my friend. Let me just see what time I have to go. Arriving at 3, so it's 2 now. So I'm probably going to go now and go and get some lunch and then go to the airport. What I'm seeing is just higher time frame consolidation, accumulation, some kind of tightening range, higher lows, lower highs, above the point of control, above the anchored VWAP, underneath this horizontal resistance level. But I mentioned before that there was another kind of a weekly level that we're kind of tightening. Like I said, we're coiling up. It feels like the whole, when you look at the whole price action here, it feels like we're coiling up. Whatever. Now we're coiling. Let's coil up. that's what it looks like, doesn't it? And again, in the context of, it's all speculation, isn't it? It's all speculative, but you've got some kind of potential channels here. You've got some potential levels. You've got a fib level, some confluence of fib at 26 cents. But that, as long as we don't take these lows, and when you're looking at this kind of triangle type, it's kind of like that, isn't it? So it's a tricky one with this triangle because it's only a local triangle. It doesn't take into consideration all of this. This at the moment is more like this, isn't it? It's more like that. And now we're in this. So maybe it's up to there. Yeah, you see, if you just clone it and just pull it up, where does it begin? Yeah, really here. Yeah, 20th of March at about 20 cents. You know, you're coming into some really strong areas of resistance, and if it overshoots in 26, then that would be strong fib resistance. So you're in an area, that's an area where I think if you don't see mega volume, then that's really an area where you'll be looking to take profit. Maybe 50%. Maybe 50%. You've got to have enough QANX so that if you do take 50% profit into big higher time frame resistance, that you still have enough QANX to become rich if it just goes up. Yeah, that's the secret. The secret of not FOMOing in. You wouldn't sell you wouldn't like into higher time resistance. You didn't sell everything, right? But if you do not have enough, it becomes harder to take profit, does it? Because you're still bullish higher time frame. You're still thinking higher time frame, we could be looking at $5 or whatever. So you still need enough QANX in your bag to be able to take profit, like 50%, if you come into in a higher time frame area in a sudden impulsive move, so that you can sell your 50% and still have enough QANX, so that if it does go to the moon and you sold and it just kept on going up and up and up and up and up and up, then you'd be rich. And then obviously if you sell and the price comes back down, we're still bullish on QANX. Nothing's changed. You're still bullish on QANX. it just gives you a real nice ability to buy back in with the rest of the money that you took out and just end up with much more QANX. Basically, that's how you form higher lows on higher time frame. That's how you put in higher lows. So right now, there's like honestly somewhere I think 20 to 26 cents. If we don't see the volume, it'll get really bullish at those levels. And also depends on how we get there too, because if you get there in a low volume impulsive rise, then it'll be a good place to take profit. If you're not looking to take profits and be aggressive with your take profit because you've got a really good position and you don't want to lose that, then you could take less. You could take 10%, but at least you have something that you can buy back in lower. And generally speaking, that's bullish, because if everyone does that at the right place at the right time, and then they take that money and they're looking to put it back in after a bigger dip, not to be greedy, then you end up with a pullback and you're ending up with a price finding support, and you end up with people now buying for a higher low, like that kind of situation type thing, you know, like, so it's generally a good thing to do that. Like, I will be looking to do that. I have enough QANX now. I've accumulated enough so that when we get to some kind of higher time frame resistance, depending on how we get there and the volume, I'll be looking to take profit, so that if it continues going up, it doesn't matter, because I still have enough QANX so that I'm happy. Like, I'm happy, you know. And then if it doesn't, and it pulls and you reject and you come back down, then I have enough fiat for my take profit to put right back in and compound for it to go back up. And so you just end up with a lot more QANX, because I'm still kind of higher time frame mega bullish on the idea of a quantum resistance block, layer 1 blockchain type thing. So that's kind of how I'm playing it. And obviously if it goes down, it goes down. You just have to ride that wave. You have to ride that dip. If it goes down, it goes down, but it becomes a buy of the lifetime. So you always kind of need fiat and reserve it in any case, just in case type thing. So anyway, this is kind of food for thought. You think you remember it at 20 cents before? Let's have a look at CoinGecko. I'm gonna go after this, because I have to go get some lunch and go. According to CoinGecko, it's never been at 20 cents. Oh, it has. All-time high. There you go. 20 cents. You're absolutely right. So there you go. That is actually your take profit. It's just not on the charts for some reason, but it is. This must not show it exactly. November 27th, 2021. There. So here it says 15 cents, huh? But CoinGecko says 20 cents. November the 25th. Yeah, see here it says 15 cents. Probably a wick, huh? Probably a wick. Which is why those wicks are, because people are taking profit. Yeah. So I think that market cap seems to fully diluted. So yeah, look at that. Look at this. This is just a sideways range consolidation. Honestly, I mean, it may be a good opportunity to take profit at the all-time high, but after going sideways for such a long time, you do expect a mega breakout You do expect that. Yeah, you do expect that, but without the volume, there's just no way to justify it. You're right. This isn't all the chart data, so they must have launched it on Uniswap, I guess, first. Let's have a look. Can we see if it's on Uniswap? Pancake, there's Uniswap. No, this is rubbish. June, mine is saying launch might be June 3rd, 2021. I mean, whatever it is, look, yeah, June the 3rd. Whatever it is that they launched, and we're basically, the price of QANX has just been going sideways. What does that tell you? That tells you that the whole of the last 3 years, this has been in an accumulation range. Accumulation. As long as you just put in higher lows, then maybe the mainnet is going to be the breakout of the millennia. You know, maybe. But realistically speaking, I think the biggest increase in value on these quantum resistant chains will be when quantum chips become dominant or become prevalent in the market. You know? How many qubits are in operation currently? IBM unveiled its Condor processor with 1,121 qubits, making it as one of the largest universal quantum processors at the time. IBM has continued to deploy systems via its cloud services, with earlier systems like 433 qubit Osprey and smaller processors still in use. It's reasonable to assume IBM has at least 1,121 qubits in operation, likely more across multiple machines. Then you've got Atom, 1,180 qubits. Google, they had 53. They outlined plans to reach 1,000 qubits. Not much. IonQ, 36 qubits. Their roadmap targets 1,000 qubits in the coming years. China's got 66 qubits. D-Wave uses quantum annealing, operates systems with over 5,000 qubits, but these are specialized, they're not universal quantum computers, so they've often excluded from general qubit counts. The biggest problem with quantum computing is the error correction, and once they figure that out, then they could probably, this could probably grow really fast. 1,000. Realistically speaking, we need, once it gets to 10,000, then I think there's going to be a shift. Yeah, so people are looking at, oh, 1,000 qubits, not much. Then when it goes to 10,000, then you'll be looking at 100,000, then you'll be looking at 1 million, and that's going to be probably that when we start getting to like 10,000. Once you start getting, we've done 10,000 qubits now, and that's announced, and we've got a chip that's running at 10,000 qubits, then you're going to start getting a lot more. That's what I'm thinking. You get a lot more interest in these quantum resistant blockchains, because then people are going to go, oh, wait a minute, you've gone from 1,000 qubits to 10,000 in the space of 1 year. Then people will be thinking to themselves, shit, they could probably now you could talk, I could talk to, you could talk to me at QANX all day. Yeah, you'd be talking about 10,000 qubits, then it'll be all over the press, then you'll be talking about the next level will be like 20,000, 50,000, 100,000. and then what, you know, it's off, then it's, who knows. So I mean, look, Microsoft said that they're on the path to 1 million. Time. So let's see what Google says. There's a bit of skepticism about this, huh? There's a lot of people not believing it, but let's invented the transistor for the quantum age. Huh? Whatever you're doing in quantum space needs to have a path to 1 million qubits. If it doesn't, you're going to hit a wall before you get to a scale at which you can solve the really important problems that motivate us. We have actually worked out a path to 1 million. Should invest in Microsoft if they can make 1 million qubit processors. 100% it's going to be the most important. This is game changing. This is game changing. AI will take over then. I think you just would you? I mean, look, I don't know. I mean, I mean, the partnerships between. So I saw some things on. I think it was Pepin's. Pepin, he keeps on posting stuff. Here, look. Here it is. This is great. You'll need it, Microsoft. I think the same guys who invested in QANX, VC deal, MBK holding in Qatar. I think they've been talking to Microsoft somewhere. Where did I see it? Posted it. I don't know. I have to ask him. Anyway, I'm gonna have to go. It was kind of interesting just having a chat. MBK investors. I don't think Google's gonna find it. Microsoft. 5 days ago, look, MBK Global partnership will help. MBK Global joins the Microsoft partner network to accelerate digital transformation in Qatar. Partnership will help MBK Global enhance its capability, expand its market reach, and who knows? Like, they're in the partner network. What does that mean? I don't know. Don't know what that means. Probably means that Microsoft computers are gonna be implemented or whatever. So I mean, it's honestly, to have like a big investors like these on board, that's a big deal. That's not a small thing. And obviously IBM is a big deal, especially with IBM building quantum chips. So they will have a strategy. Let's just hope the mainnet goes well, and let's just hope that they can be a little bit of a buzz with the hype. We need a little bit of hype, a little bit of kind of, this is the next big thing. I think a lot of people are thinking quantum computers isn't going to be a big deal for the next decade. So that needs to change. That idea needs to change. If people start panicking, they're going to start buying panic in a kind of a market way, in a panic way, in a FOMO way. And so right now, this project's been around since 2021. You can't see panic buying here, can you? There's no panic buying. There's no FOMO here. What we need is FOMO. And so FOMO isn't necessarily going to come when the mainnet launches. FOMO is going to come when you get companies like Google or Microsoft or Apple or whoever, Nvidia, start announce, like if an Nvidia tomorrow announce we've just developed a 10,000 qubit chip type thing, that's when you're going to start getting a little bit more FOMO into quantum resistant chains, and then you're going to start getting, well, all these legacy blockchains aren't going to be able to transition fast enough, and then so you're going to get a little bit of capital transference into these kind of quantum resistant chains. But I mean, beyond that, maybe QANX is just a better chain anyway, and so then you're going to, just because it's, you can program in any language, and then also you've got developer rewards or whatever, so who knows, we have to see. But in any case, probably 20 cents. If you hit it sometime at the end of March, 20 cents, then that's going to be pretty big resistance, because it is the all-time high. There is a level there which I've kind of consolidated. Like if you do suddenly get a push up with pretty big resistance there, so I think the strategy for a lot of people, if they're thinking, should I take profit, I'm bullish on this, this is going to the moon, would be just make sure you have enough QANX so that if you do sell 25%, I think at the all-time high, you should, it's a good place to sell half, to be honest with you. Then you have enough so that if it does keep on going, you don't matter, it doesn't matter, because you have enough QANX to set you up for life if and when it goes like it. That's like best case scenario, isn't it? It went up to all-time high, you took profit, and it just kept on going. But who cares? Like, who cares? No one knows if that's going to happen. You have to have enough so that if it does keep on going, you have enough, you know? Because if you do take profit, and then if you don't put the profit back in here, you just, it will dip, and then you can put it back in there, you know, whatever. It doesn't matter where you put it back in, but then you're putting it back in for a higher low on the dip when fear is back at 10 or whatever, rather than not having dry powder on the sides type thing, but you have enough QANX so that you're set for life type thing. A big bag? Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's a tricky one, because without seeing an increase in volume and without seeing quantum chips in, I'm going to have to go, without seeing quantum chips in mass production and seeing 10,000 qubit announcements, it's still quite a speculative token. Without seeing other projects come onto this chain after the mainnet launches, big announcements, it's still quite a speculative chain. But if they'd like, if you suddenly get a big uptake by some big investors, I think what you have to do is like think to yourself, higher time frame, market cap, layer 1 quantum blockchain, could it, higher time frame, could it get to like 10 billion? Yeah, possibly. At 10 billion, how much you have to calculate, higher time frame, how much do you need to be comfortable? You have to just work it out. And so I don't know, I mean, like right now, what the market cap is about 60, the price is 4 cents. So let me just use, I have to go, but let me just use Grok to figure this out. Market cap, what, wait, let me just see, well, how much would the price of QANX need to be at a market cap of 10 billion? Give it some time to figure it out. Well, I put my socks. I don't know my socks on. That didn't work. Let's try that again. All right, well, Grok is having refresh it. Maybe it needs a little refresh. Maybe they need a quantum chip. So the price would need to be $5.88 to reach 10 billion. Okay. And so if I had, let's just say for the sake of argument, $20,000 worth of QANX now, how much would it be at 10 billion market? Kind of just, you have to work it out for yourself. The good thing about AI, it just does it for you. So your $20,000 investment would be worth approximately $1.17 million at a 10 billion market cap. And with $20,000, oh, the current price of 10 cents. Why is it 10 cents? You're an idiot. QANX is currently trading at 0.04. Let's see this again. So with $20,000, you currently own 500,000 QANX tokens. So if QANX reaches 10 billion market cap, your $20,000 would be probably worth shy under $3 million. At 10 billion, you're looking at, this assumes the circulating supply remains around 1.7, which it probably won't. Probably go a little bit higher. So I think you just got to figure it out for yourself. And then you could the best thing to do with these kind of bag tokens is you have like a no touch bag. So maybe 500,000, and just hold it for a long time and just wait for that 10 billion to hit. And if when that 10 billion hits, you're looking at a 3 million payday, which is a handsome payday, you know, that's a really big payday. And then you have a trading bag so that whenever you hit the higher time frame resistance, you can just sell. And so you have your no touch bag and you have your little trading bag, and that way you don't FOMO back in if the price keeps on going up, because you have a little trading bag which is trading. And then you have your no touch bag, probably just based on this analysis, 10 billion in a higher time frame. Let's just say your higher time frame is 5 years or 10 years. You know, 500,000 tokens, 10 billion market cap. I think that's not a bad target, assuming the chain is a success. That's an assumption, not financial advice, but you could go into AI and mess around with figures. All right, I gotta go. Thanks for joining me, Ryan, and anyone else who's here. If you watch the video later, then I'm sure someone's going to put a timestamp where the QANX section is. All right, take care, guys. See ya.